Smack! A crisp sound rang out. Dahlia Nicholson's slap landed heavily across Dustin's face. She'd struck with such force that her previously bandaged wound split open again. Fresh blood oozed between her fingers. Dustin gently touched his stinging cheek, standing silently where he was. There was no joy, no sorrow on his face. He could tolerate being misunderstood, even being looked down on. But what he could never accept was being slapped by the woman who had once been his wife, for the sake of another man. Why? Why do you refuse to admit you were wrong? Dahlia bit her lip, eyes brimming with tears, a look of bitter disappointment on her face. She couldn't understand why Dustin had become like this, petty, jealous, stirring up trouble, even repaying kindness with resentment. All the worst traits seemed to be piling up on him now. She wanted this slap to wake him up. Humph, trying to challenge me? You're still too green for that, Matt Laney sneered to himself as he watched the two turn against each other. Even though he'd lost 2 teeth, seeing Dahlia slap Dustin on his behalf gave him immense satisfaction. Good! A man like him deserves a slap! Florence's eyes lit up. Exactly! Someone needs to teach him a lesson before he really thinks he's something special, James added. Heh! After a long silence, Dustin gave a bitter, self-mocking laugh. 3 years of marriage. They had rarely even argued, let alone resorted to physical violence. This was the first slap. And it would also be the last. That slap just now, consider it paid back. From now on, we owe each other nothing. Dustin took a deep breath and turned to leave, calm and composed. No anger. No yelling. Just an unexpected and chilling indifference. Huh! Dahlia was stunned by his desolate figure as he walked away. For a moment, she didn't know how to respond. Just then, a knock came at the door. It was Butler Hummer, who had left earlier, now returning. Where's Mr. Rhys? He looked around. Mr. Hummer, why are you looking for that good-for-nothing? Florence asked suspiciously. Oh, our Master Hummer instructed me to deliver a gift to Mr. Rhys. He said he wanted to make peace. The butler explained. A gift? Everyone glanced at each other in confusion. Are you serious? What did that guy do to deserve a gift from Master Hummer? Florence asked incredulously. What did he do? Butler Hummer's expression turned odd. Wait, you mean you don't know? The reason the Hummer family lifted the ban, even issued a public apology, was all because of Mr. Rhys. What? The room fell into stunned silence. Everyone stared in disbelief. Had they heard that right? The one who saved the entire Nicholson family? The one who forced the Hummer family to apologize publicly? It was Dustin Rhys, the same man they had all mocked and looked down on as a useless nobody? Impossible. This can't be real. Mr. Hummer, you must be joking, right? Are you saying Dustin saved us? Florence's eyes widened, struggling to accept the truth. What else did you think? Butler Hummer replied, dead serious. No way. It was supposed to be Matt. Wasn't it Matt who helped us? How could it be Dustin? James cried out, shaking his head furiously. Matt Laney? The butler glanced at the man in question with disdain. He's just a fallen noble. What qualifications does he have to make the Hummer family bow? At that, everyone turned to look at Matt. His face flushed red in embarrassment, and his silence only confirmed the truth of Butler Hummer's words. How could this be? Was I wrong about him all along? Dahlia stood in place like she'd been struck by lightning, muttering to herself in shock. Realizing her mistake, she bolted out the door in a panic and chased after Dustin. At the front gate, she spotted his figure just about to step into a car. She ran up and grabbed his sleeve. Dustin, wait! Just now, I misunderstood you. I was too impulsive. I didn't know you were the one who did all this. I never imagined how much you'd been carrying alone. But why didn't you say anything? You saved everyone. Why didn't you explain yourself? Dahlia bit her lip, her expression tangled in guilt and confusion. What's the point in explaining? Have you ever believed me? Dustin shook his head. Nothing hurt more than a dead heart, and his was already cold. Then at least help me understand. If you don't say anything, how am I supposed to trust you? Dahlia cried, frustrated. Whether you trust me or not, doesn't matter anymore. This is the end for us. Let go. Dustin gently pulled his sleeve free. His eyes looked at her like she was a stranger. Dustin! What do you want from me? Why are you being so stubborn? Dahlia, now overwhelmed, suddenly lost control of her emotions. Be honest, are you completely faultless? You act on impulse. You lash out without thinking. If you hadn't been lucky this time, do you really think you'd have gotten out of this safely? I just want you to grow up. To be more rational. Is that so wrong? No, you're right. Everything is my fault. Even the slap you gave me, I deserved it. Dustin's face was cold and emotionless. You. Dahlia opened her mouth but couldn't find any words. Dahlia Nicholson, you've always been so arrogant, so self-righteous. You've never once admitted when you were wrong. So many things could have been resolved with a little logic, just a bit of investigation. But instead, you always chose to believe only what you wanted to hear. From beginning to end, you never believed in me. Don't you see? You've been living in your own little world all along. No one else could ever reach your heart. I tried once. But now, I've given up. This will be the last time I help you. Take care of yourself. With that, Dustin climbed into the car and drove away. Back at the gate, Dahlia stood frozen, as if thunderstruck. She didn't move for a long time. I'm sorry, I didn't know it would turn out like this. I just wanted you to succeed, to be someone great. I never imagined you were suffering so much. I was wrong. I really was wrong. From the day we divorced, I knew I had made a mistake. You said no one could get into my heart, but someone did. It was you. You had already gotten in, so why? Why did you give up in the end? Dustin, don't you know, I've already fallen completely in love with you. When Dahlia Nicholson stumbled back into the hospital room, she looked like a soulless shell of herself. Her expression was blank. Her eyes were lifeless. She didn't even notice that her bandaged hand was still bleeding, drops of blood falling steadily to the floor. Dustin's cold, heartless eyes as he left were like blades, stabbing deep into her heart. She knew they were drifting farther and farther apart. She had always prioritized her career, determined to forge a path of success. Because of that, she had ignored many things, and sacrificed even more. However, since the day of their divorce, she had slowly come to realize there was something far more important than career. Unfortunately, by the time she understood, it was already too late. Sweetheart, I've just asked around. As soon as Dahlia entered, Florence hurried over and said, that Dustin kid was just bluffing. He threatened Miss Tina Hummer and used her life as leverage. That's why the Hummer family backed off and apologized. At the end of the day, he just used dirty, underhanded tricks. Exactly. That guy has no shame. Just to look impressive, he's willing to stoop to anything. James chimed in. At first, they were shocked to learn Dustin was the one helping behind the scenes. But after digging deeper, they discovered the Hummer family wasn't actually afraid of him. It was just that Dustin had used underhanded means to threaten them, forcing them to back down out of fear. It looked powerful on the surface, but in reality, he'd stolen the tiger's whiskers while it slept. Mom, please leave. I want to be alone. Dahlia didn't react much. Even her voice was flat, void of emotion. Sweetheart, even if we misunderstood Dustin, so what? He's the one who caused all this trouble. He's just trying to make up for his mistakes. We don't owe him anything. Florence insisted. Mom, I'm tired. I just want to rest. Please leave, sweetheart. Out. Seeing her daughter's darkened expression, Florence didn't dare speak again. She silently led the others out of the room. Who would have thought? The person who helped the most in all this was Dustin. Meanwhile, Matt Laney turned out to be a disappointment. Someone sighed outside the room. What help? He nearly gave us a heart attack. We should be thankful we didn't settle the score with him. Florence snapped. As for Matt Laney, he acted out of love. He only did what he did to win over Dahlia's heart. If you asked me, a man willing to risk his reputation for love is the one truly worth entrusting your life to. She twisted Matt's cowardice and scheming into an act of romantic devotion, and somehow, people actually agreed. Inside the hospital room, Dahlia sat motionless on the bed, her gaze vacant and hollow. No one knew how long had passed, but eventually, tears began to fall silently down her cheeks. Her shoulders trembled, and then her emotions burst. She buried her face between her knees and broke down in a flood of grief. When the company faced crisis, she hadn't cried. When she was humiliated, she hadn't cried. Even when beaten or tormented, she hadn't shed a single tear. But now, she cried. She cried with everything she had, to the depths of her soul. At the Hummer estate, Tina Hummer sat in her wheelchair, face twisted with rage and humiliation. "Dad! Our Hummer family has never suffered such disgrace. You have to avenge me, no matter what," she said through clenched teeth. "Of course I will. But that kid can't be taken lightly. If we push him too hard, he might snap. We need to be fully prepared," said Edwin Hummer, his expression serious. For daring to humiliate the Hummers, there was no way he'd let this go. "Isn't Master Lawson a master of voodoo? Curse him with your most powerful spell. Make him beg for death." Tina's face was full of venom. "That won't work." Master Lawson shook his head. "That guy isn't just a strong martial artist. He also has some understanding of voodoo. He even broke the centipede curse I used on Mr. Harmon. Right now, I can't touch him." "Then what do we do? If I don't see him suffer, I'll never be satisfied." Tina's eyes blazed. "Patience. Just wait a few more days," Edwin Hummer said, narrowing his eyes. "I've already told your brother. Once he finishes his closed-door training, he'll return to Stonia and take care of Dustin. When that happens, no matter how skilled Dustin is, he won't be able to cause any more trouble." Edwin's greatest pride wasn't his status as Stonia's wealthiest man. It was his son, Joshua Hummer. Joshua had trained in martial arts since childhood, with unmatched talent. At 15, he was undefeated across Stonia. At 18, he entered the elite Xuanwu sect and became a disciple of Elder Jiang. Now at 25, he had already earned a spot on the Earth Board of Martial Artists, with a bright future ahead. He was hailed as one of the top 10 young experts in the southern province. In time, he was even expected to surpass the famed prodigy, Tyler Grant. "Good! Let Dustin enjoy his last few days. Once my brother returns, I'll make him wish he were dead." Tina Hummer sneered. In her heart, her brother was invincible. There was nothing he couldn't do. Dealing with a mere fighter like Dustin? That would be effortless. "Master Hummer, since Joshua will return soon, Dustin is no longer a real threat. Our top priority should be the Harmon family," Master Lawson said. "The bailing pill is already in production and nearly finished. It's time to move." "Excellent. We'll hold a press conference in 3 days. Since Natasha Harmon refuses to cooperate this time, I'll make sure she loses everything." Edwin clenched his fist tight, the cracking of his knuckles echoing. Dustin was merely a stone in the road, but Natasha Harmon, she was the thorn in his flesh, and she had to be removed, swiftly.
And just can't accept it. This can't be the end yet. You promised to never leave, and now you're gone. Can't believe I can feel the world slipping away as you slowly fade from my everyday. You promised forever a love without end, but now I'm left broken, struggling to mend. I thought we were so tied, destined for a lifetime, love with no end, love with no end. Staying in my imagination, memorizing the past time, the secrets, the love, the care. Now there echoes in the air. I still see your face in every place, feel your warmth, your gentle grace. But now there's just an empty space, and I'm lost in this endless chase. Keeping you in my heart, a piece of you I'll never